Imagine what it would be like to explore the world without being able to see it or hear it. Pretty hard to imagine, right? But there was someone who did just that. Her name was Helen Keller, and she didn't just find a way to explore the world, she changed it. Helen Keller was born on June 27, 1880, in Alabama, USA. When she was very little, about 19 months old, she got really sick with an illness that doctors couldn't treat back then. This illness left Helen unable to see or hear. Imagine how confusing the world must have seemed to her. At first, Helen couldn't communicate with anyone. She would get frustrated because she wanted to express herself, but she had no words to use. Her parents felt very sad watching her struggle and knew they needed to help her. Then, a very special teacher named Anne Sullivan came into Helen's life. Anne was also visually impaired, and she understood what Helen was going through. She decided to teach Helen using her hands. Anne would spell words into Helen's palm so she could learn what things were called. One of the first words Helen learned was water. Anne spelled W-A-T-E-R into Helen's hand while water was running over her other hand. Suddenly, Helen understood that this water was the cool liquid she was feeling. She was so excited. It was like she had discovered a whole new way to talk to people. After learning this breakthrough word, Helen was unstoppable. She quickly learned hundreds of words and even learned how to read and write in Braille, a special system of raised dots for people who are blind. But she didn't stop there. Helen became the first deaf-blind person to graduate from college. She went to Radcliffe College and earned her degree, an amazing achievement, especially for a woman in the early 1900s. Throughout her life, Helen spoke out for the rights of people with disabilities. She even met famous leaders, like presidents and world leaders, and inspired many people to see that being blind or deaf didn't stop her from making a difference. Now, here are some cool facts about Helen Keller that you might not know. 1. She was friends with famous people. Helen knew Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the telephone, and writer Mark Twain. Mark Twain said she was one of the most interesting people he ever met. 2. She was a dog lover. Helen loved dogs and often had pets. She even learned how to give them commands through touch. 3. She loved to travel. Even though it was difficult to travel with her disabilities, Helen visited over 35 countries in her life to speak about disability rights and inspire people all over the world. She was an author. Helen wrote 12 books and tons of articles in her life. One of her most famous books is her autobiography, The Story of My Life, which is still read today. She was a prankster. Helen had a great sense of humor and loved playing little tricks on her family and friends, like switching around furniture to surprise them. Helen Keller showed us that no matter what challenges we face, we can find ways to overcome them and do amazing things. She helped people see that every person has a voice, even if they don't speak or hear in the usual way. Helen Keller is a true inspiration, showing us that with courage and determination, we can do anything. Thank you for watching Kids Unleashed. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you on the next video.